I'd like to learn about it. I didn't get in. In fact, I didn't even apply to the beta, but
Bezos literally went to space.
and I was sure as hell not pre-ordering it.
$300 million a day and doesn't know what else to do with it. Meanwhile, Amazon Games can't program a running animation and are clearly using a server they found dumped in a canal somewhere. New world. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife. Today, we're going to be playing Amazon Games Studios' new MMORPG, New World. Now, in order to set our expectations correctly, let's remember the most successful game.
This game's so weird in the way they were designing it. This is like, at first I was really excited because I thought it was gonna be like full loot PvP, kind of like a sandbox or like Albion or something like that, and then it turned out to be like they flipped it to like full PvE and then they flipped it to like faction, and now like I don't even know what the beta like
Airport Mania HD.
What their idea was.
So successful, it spawned a sequel. Then they started to work on the new Lord of the Rings MMO right up until they decided to not keep making that because they fell out with Tencent, and both companies threw their toys out the pram and sat there seeing who could ignore the other the hardest. So straight off the bat, you know we are dealing with professionals. New World has been in development for a few years now, and for some strange reason, Amazon didn't send me a beta key. Maybe the guy who
He's right. They really can't run. Like the animation's so bad.
And had to tuck Jeffrey into his nice shiny space suit. So
yeah, this guy's getting wrecked.
This absolute miscarriage of justice, and lo and behold, the absolutely majestic.
Dude, that guy just fucking chucked a harpoon at him.
Yorkshire tea sipping knight of the realm himself, the spiffing Brit, sent me a beta code like the absolute gentleman he is. So, New World. Basically, a few years ago, Amazon shouted, "Hey, who wants a full loot hardcore?"
I feel like he's just like taking clips of all the bugs and stuff. Because when I was watching some streamers, it didn't seem this bad.
The territory control MMO, and about 5 people put their hands up. But then 3 of them went to play Mortal Online 2, and the other 2 realized actually they don't want that. So Amazon said, "Hey, who wants a PvP?"
Wait, I wanted that. What are you talking about?
Focused crafting heavy MMO with area control. And the entire player base of Life is Feudal, about 20 people, looked up and slowly started to show an interest. So then they released the alpha, and it turns out when you tell players who live to grief others to make their own fun, their version of fun actually isn't. So Amazon Games finally said, "Okay, how about we..."
I feel like this guy's shit talking all of Albion right now.
We add some PvE challenges and an actual plot and make it somewhat solo friendly and make PvP voluntary opt-in to prevent further griefing, and now we're getting somewhere.
This guy pulled way too many mobs.
For $40, you'll get access to the beta. That's correct. You are paying to test their game. You would have assumed they could have taken some of the army of Amazon employees to test it, but no, clearly the QA budget went on Jeff's penis rocket. Opening cinematic, rainy streets with dude in cool metal mask.
Can't believe that's actually what the rocket looks like.
Reminiscent of 16th century Spanish conquistadors, such as Pedro de Valverde, Juan Ponce de Leon, or Cortez from The Road to El Dorado. Chat to a spooky old man with red eyes in a bar. He gives the metal mask dude a magical box, and then we set off for adventure. We are a member of this guy's crew, and now the character creation begins. It's actually a very nice transition from cinematic to creation, but unlike more modern creation engines, there are no sliders. You've got several preset faces and feature shapes, some hairstyles and hair colors. Not the best, not the worst. But
I guess like even like Ashes and like New World and stuff, like the character creations are always garbage. I guess this is like one of the very last things they develop in a game. It's like just so far down on the priority list.
Now, and this thought will come up again often, is this doesn't feel like something made by a $1 trillion company. Character made and we log in. Now, I'm lucky to be...
Okay, well, I think Amazon's... Is Amazon a $1 trillion company? I thought it was like 500 bill, like half a trill or something like that.
Playing at low load times because these queues on launch day were insane. Some people were waiting up to an hour, and as we'll see later, this game's servers are made of tissue paper and wishes. More cinematic, the whole ship is destroyed by a huge stone pillar rising out of the sea, and we wash up on the beach and the game begins. WASD movement, space to jump, but as we approach the captain, we get attacked and combat controls are shown via a quick time event. I don't hate this. It gives us the basics and lets us see the effect of each click. Nice and simple. Right mouse blocks, left mouse attacks, hold left click.
That's definitely like new.
To dodge.
Someone's like, I haven't seen a game do it like this.
Blocking. It's basically cheap Dark Souls. Have a chat with the captain. He wants his box back, but instead of waiting, decides to melt. Doesn't give us his sweet mask. Shame. Tab opens your inventory. This is laid out really nicely. 1 and 2 hotkeys bound to your main and secondary weapons. Quick item slots assigned to 3, 4, and 5. Armor and skilling equipment are all shown. We equip a shield as the tutorial forces us to. We eat some food and then get exploring. How to describe combat. Imagine you ordered Dark Souls from Wish. This is what would arrive. Once you've clicked an attack, there is no animation cancelling. You can't block or roll away from an attack animation once you start.
That fucking sucks.
And the enemy has no real telegraphing of attacks. There's no audio or visual clue they're going to attack. They just start the attack, and if you block a split second too late, you get hit. You just kind of need to know when to block. It's not bad by any means, it's perfectly serviceable. Now, I personally love Dark Souls combat, and I appreciate the slower, more tactical nature of choosing your move and living with the consequences of choosing the wrong one. But if you're after a more reaction-based action combat system, this will feel somewhat clunky and unresponsive.
Notice how like
combat system, this will
like his heavy attack did like 60% and his normal attack did like, I guess it did 40%, but I don't see that heavy attack really being worth using at that damage.
Kill this elite dude and get a skill point. Using a weapon increases your skills in it, and all weapon skills level separately, so you get better at whatever you use. I like this system. It rewards time and effort invested into your chosen style. Have a quick meander up this hill,
that's kind of like Albion.
With the in-game actual start. And honestly, graphics are nice. Music is great. Atmosphere is lovely. Combat is decent. UI is clean. It feels good, but it still doesn't feel like a trillion-dollar company has made it good. But I am still holding out hope. I mean, these guys made Airport Mania HD. I am sure they can deliver on the world's greatest MMO. So the game takes place on the Isle of Aeternum, and as we descend into this pit, we get to see the issue with
it was the captain.
The island is surrounded and sometimes covered in this stuff called corruption. And here's our old captain friend. He has been corrupted, and now we fight him. This is the first moment I start both having fun and feeling disappointed. This fight isn't bad from a superficial standpoint. Animations are smooth, combat sounds are nice, atmosphere is great, but mechanically it's
that sucks how like he dodged the first part of that spin attack, but still got hit by the end of it.
This is a set piece of your game's opening, and it feels somewhat lackluster. Halfway through the fight, the captain blasts us with a beam of light, and we are teleported inland. Now, depending on your server, or your real-life location, or just how Jeffrey is feeling on any given day, you can actually start in a few separate places. Now, each start is basically identical. You'll have the same quests given to you by differently named but identical NPCs, and you will learn the same skills. Now, here's the biggest difference between this PvP and crafting-focused territory control MMO and all of the other PvP and crafting-focused
this guy's level 16. He's like right in the spawn.
Control MMOs. New World actually has something resembling a plot, or a narrative and an adventure line that you can follow to learn the basics. You know when people say, this game doesn't hold your hand? Well, I've explained before, that's an awful way to introduce new players to your world. You need a small amount of hand-holding until the player is confident enough to go and play solo, and new...
Yeah, that's probably true. Like, I know, like, Albion, well, like... I don't know, at least like RuneScape like is sandbox, but like it has like starter quests and things like that, and like a few tutorial people in Lumbridge and stuff. And they also have Tutorial Island, right? So you get like a full like day of RuneScape to like kind of get handheld before you're like off to do whatever you want, right? And even at Albion, people were complaining about like the new player experience for a long time until they updated that and added in like the new system that they have with the quests. Like very limited quests, but they're still kind of like quests in the and they also added like a tutorial island kind of thing.
The world does seem to hit that balance quite nicely. There is no minimap, but there's also no auto-pathing. There is a compass to the top and a green mainline quest symbol to guide you though. The early quests are all voice acted, and the voice acting is fine. It's not fantastic, it's just fine. Maybe some of the voice acting budget went on Jeff's soft little space booties.
I'm surprised that like this guy's always bugged out on his run.
Which I can only assume are lined with mink and probably light up as he runs. And now a small movement issue. It seems the motion capture budget ran out mid-stride because running forward takes about 3 steps and then locks you into this position. And this isn't just me. Others are gliding around like this too. Now, full disclosure, this didn't happen when I played a few days ago. But I'm recording now and it's happening now, so this is what the world gets to see. If you run sideways, it's still fine. This only happens when you run directly forward. As you explore, gather resources and fight, you'll level up, and you can spend your level up points on 1 of 5 skills: strength, dexterity.
I'll probably go down the strength tree.
Intelligence, focus, and constitution.
I don't know, that like rapier and dexterity looks pretty good too.
Each stat actually shows you what weapon it affects. This is really nice.
Wait, so there's intellect and see there's like, it's like a rapier here, but then you can also use intelligence for like a rapier here. And it also looks like there's another sword, like very similar looking at the end. But this one doesn't have like the handy guard, so.
Nice design and makes choosing where to put your points much simpler. Movement with a weapon drawn is not only still bogged, but actually much funnier. This NPC sends me on a cooking quest and we get to open the journal. The quest journal is actually fine.
It's like, I wonder what's the difference if you unlock the same weapon on like intelligence or on dexterity? Like what difference does it make?
Cleanly laid out, easy to follow and read. For all the mechanical issues the game has, the UI design is not one of them. Same goes for the map. The landmass is actually pretty small compared to other self-described hardcore PvP MMOs, which is a welcome relief. Too many MMOs make the map massive but forget to put anything in it. A giant open space doesn't mean anything if there's nothing to happen in that space. But oh, here's a nice feature. Resource spots, such as iron or flint or wood, aren't shown on the map, but they are shown in relation to a topographical key. You can see the resources you need and then locate the type of land you'll find it in. That would be a brilliant system if the majority of colours on the map weren't an almost identical shade of light brown. So as you adventure around Eternum, you'll find skilling spots to interact with, shown by the little circle symbol. If you press E, you'll interact with them, pulling up a bush or cutting down a tree, and it does actually affect the in-game model, which is a really nice touch. As far as skilling is concerned, it's basically like giant 3D RuneScape, and that's not a bad thing. Pull up some plants, gather some sticks, and pick some flint up from the floor. Have to admit though, the casual in me is really missing having a mini-map. I don't think that would ruin what you're going for here, game. Mini-maps are normally quite well received. Back at the quest giver NPC, we use the campfire to craft. You can craft various things at major crafting stations in town. Everything from armor to weapons to ammunition is all
I wonder why he's using the campfire to craft when there's literally like a crafting station right next to it.
craftable. It is entirely possible and indeed encouraged to be self-sufficient in this game, and the crafting menu is again
It's kinda weird.
nicely laid out. Recipes on the left, selected one shown in the middle with what you need, and crafting button on the right. Nice and simple. We've made a knife from the gathered materials, and now we need to hunt a boar for some food, so we silently skate up to this unsuspecting boar like the ninja we are, and it doesn't even fight back. Like the boar doesn't even care that it's being attacked. Press E to gut the boar, gather some meat, and run back to the camp. At this point, I'm actually running sideways everywhere because it looks less stupid than just gliding around. Cook the food into better food, then get sent off to search a shipwreck. Environments are lovely. Music is understated and fitting. Light rays and reflections and textures on everything look nice.
It's because it's actually running diagonally.
Top-notch. It's just the moment-to-moment gameplay, the combat, and the general server status that's really letting this game down right now. First impressions are good.
Oh, that was a cool move.
Mechanics. Around the land randomly, usually guarded by enemies, you'll find supply caches. Search them to get stuff, from ammo to weapons to armor. They're basically a little reward for exploring and fighting. Talking of fighting, it's average. There are moments it shines, like when you've memorized an enemy's attack patterns and you can block or roll at the right time, wasting no time in dispatching them, or when you can chain a heavy attack and an ability to kill them quickly. Like, it's not a bad system, it's just this game was made by $1 trillion company. I'd expect something better than I've ever seen before, and that's one of the issues we'll come back to. The game is good.
Hang on a second, let me take my cat down. What's up, sea dog? Oh, good morning. Alright, pick it up. Go, Clark. Go. Go. Alright, I'm back. Hopefully that didn't mess up my model. Let's see if I can fix this real quick. Okay, alright.
anything currently already out there. Here's a feature I quite like. Travelling to a new landmass shows you the suggested level of the area you've just arrived at in general, but there's nothing to stop you from travelling anywhere. See, this is the perfect amount of hand-holding. The game is saying, hey, I'm not going to stop you doing this, but just so you're aware, it's suggested for this level. It's giving the player all the information they need and then letting them make their own choice. It's the freedom to listen to advice or to ignore it, and this is great. There is a more elite enemy on this.
I will say this video has so far been much more positive than I expected it to be,
Ship deck. They've got a shield.
despite the title.
You need to use a heavy attack to break the shield block. Some actual tactics. I like this. Another treasured cache gets me a cool spear. And then I get chased by a load of zombies. Again, I like this. It means even at low level, it's a very lethal MMO. You aren't unkillable. I actually wonder what PvP is like. I promise I will do some PvP before the video ends. Oh, awesome. The first spear skill is a throw, like a javelin. And you have to parkour over the ship's broken frame to gather some quest items. And oh damn, the spear throw
pretty cool.
hitbox is actually really nice. Projectiles are traveling 3D models, and the enemy hitboxes are mapped really close to the enemy model. This level of accuracy is essential in an action game to make it feel fair. A few more quests get me a bow, and then I'm sent to explore a local cave. The main problem here is wielding a bow makes the leg running glitch worse. It looks like I'm skiing along with one ski. In the cave, in quite an awesome touch, 3 of us seem to form this rather impromptu group. We don't talk to each other, we just communicate in the classic MMO way of jumping around and fighting the same stuff. And then, just as this unspoken bond of camaraderie grows almost as powerful as a spaceship engine, we reach the boss and the others run off and leave me alone like a forgotten Amazon parcel.
What?
Chaplain boss is pretty cool actually. Some minions, some attacks to dodge, my spear throw has a stun effect, so that's nice, and killing him gets me some more loot.
This guy's
This is
getting wrecked.
basically what the PvE aspect of this game seems to be. Find some corrupted powerful NPCs guarding treasure, kill them, get treasure. Back outside I receive some territory points. With most of the PvP gameplay being focused on area control, your faction can own land masses or cities. And as you do stuff in each territory, you can earn territory points to unlock certain buffs while in that territory, like reduced trading tax on some market boards, increased experience, or more faction reputation gained when you do stuff. This is an interesting system that rewards map exploration, and we'll have to wait and see if it has engaging long-term benefits. Oh, you can also fast travel to places you've unlocked, but you need to spend a resource to do it, and I don't have any of that resource. But I really like this system. It means early game travel is essential, but late game travel gives you the choice of paying to get to places you've already been quicker. It's cost versus reward. Again, it's kind of similar to
I wonder if it costs more if you have like more stuff on you.
the gameplay you've seen
Like a travel
is recorded
modifier.
on a new account made to redo the starting zone, but I'm switching back to my main account because I've got a cool pirate costume and I want to do some PvP. The game has all the standard comforts of home: a personal bank account known as a storage shed, a market board auction house where players can buy and sell things, and honestly the town ambience is terrific. The
The town
armor
looks
and weapons
great.
are grounded and just stylized enough to be interesting without being garish. The general graphical style of the Spanish conquistadors is held really well. The color palette of the bright green foliage contrasted with the darkened timber is visually gorgeous. There's a wealth of smaller touches like ferns and birds and tapestries hanging around. Visually, the towns are really fleshed out and they are a joy to walk around. The soundtrack is so well fit, you don't even notice how much it's enhancing the overall ambience. They have knocked environmental design out of the park. I mean, they've basically sent it into space.
At least I
which
hope
is
the rest of
great
the maps
because now
are
Jeffrey can
at this
also
well designed.
enjoy it. And now comes the joiner
And not just
faction
like the
mode,
starting
territory control
town.
PvP game. So of course there are 3 factions who all absolutely hate each other and stand for different things, yet all somehow coexist in the same town. You've got the Marauders, big angry shouty boys who want to smash you in the face with the hammer of freedom. The Covenant, who are all religious zealots and want to hand out free hugs and see the good in everyone despite the fact there are literal zombies eating people's faces. And the clearly superior Syndicate, who are a bunch of super smart boys who think magic is cool and maybe we should try using that. Oh, quick bug, running toward a set of steps doesn't actually cause you to descend them properly by keeping you on the floor. You just shoot off the end and then crumple into a pile on the floor. This is dumb. Fix this. So I join the Syndicate boys, flag myself for PvP and head out into the wild. The global chat is saying something about a fort to the east being attacked, so I get jogging. I may only be one man with a musket, but I can hang back and snipe like the best of them. On my way there, I run into someone from the opposite faction flagged for PvP. He is a higher level than me with more money, more weapons, and more armor. He seems superior to me, but I think I can win.
Can't really tell. Quality? No?
He's Bezos, I'm Branson. Let's do this.
Using the shotgun musket? Okay. Jeez. That was pretty cool. That was a good spear throw. Oh! Was he gonna get him? What? Oh! I got him.
God damn, I actually won. I'm gonna be real with you, I did not
He's trying to kill that other guy too.
I guess that just goes to show, while warhammers may be intimidating, spears are the best medieval weapon. Thanks, Lindy Beige. The fort is far to the east still, so I get running through higher level areas, avoiding roaming enemies, sometimes fighting them, and then we face the biggest hurdle so far, the most difficult enemy in the entire beta. The lag. Seriously, are the servers you are using made of the finest potato? Because it's been dire. Every world is lagging. Everyone is crashing. If this is a stress test, how many people were you actually expecting to play? You are a $1 trillion company. You've been advertising this game for 5 years. How were you surprised when people wanted to play the beta? Every MMO launch ever has been met with day one lag. You should have been prepared for this. Eventually, the lag subsides and I build a camp. These are your mobile respawn points. You just need a few sticks.
Yo, what the fuck is that thing?
Anywhere, as long as you're not too close to civilization. And
why is he underground?
I'm about to heal up and go and join the Fort Assault team. The server completely crashes. Only the finest potato, eh, Jeff? The finest potato. Right, so new world.
This guy really doesn't like Jeff.
A few days ago, I had a really good time. The environmental design is quality, the ambience is really immersive, and the UI design, both overlay and in menus, is fantastic. It's got enough guidance and early game quests to teach players all the basics. Then it's got a fair amount of PvE content like map completion and achievement hunting that you've always got a goal to aim for. You've even got the daily resource quests you can collect from any of the main towns. The crafting is simple to understand but covers a wide variety of weapons, armor and food that setting up your own build and kitting out your own inventory is going to take you a while. It's a solid adventure game. The PvP element right now seems fine. It's just being held back by the lag. The fact that I could defeat a higher level...
At least when he was fighting, it didn't look like he was lagging that bad.
Just number versus number. Skill does actually seem to matter, or it did when I was fighting. My main concern is Amazon is a $1 trillion company. This beta is a month away from full release, and it's just not the same level of...
Full release is supposed to be in a month? Okay, now I'm actually kind of worried about this. I thought release would be like in like a year or something.
Final Fantasy XIV. It's not got the depth of builds and deep lore of the Elder Scrolls Online. It's not got the platforming of Guild Wars 2. I can't comment on the end game because I don't think anyone's got there yet. It's not a fully hardcore PvP focused game like Mortal Online 2 or a fully PvE focused game like Neverwinter. It's a decent adventure game with decent enough graphics and voice acting and decent enough combat, but it doesn't yet do anything, any single thing better than anyone else. Imagine if this game didn't have the Amazon name behind it and it launched from some no-name studio. Would it still be making the waves it is? Probably not. I think Amazon are using their name recognition to get people to play, and they have the foundation for a really, really good MMO here.
Yeah, I feel like the combat and the PvP should like carry this game if it does succeed.
Polish, some animation bugs fixing, tightening up the combat and speeding up some of the animations and sorting out the terrible lag. If Amazon are willing to...
Like, look at the health bar. That health bar looks pretty dog shit. Like, at the bottom. That's literally like my Twitch follower overlay. Like, yeah, it looks like shit, but like, it's free, right? I don't have money to throw into like developing or like getting something custom, and like Amazon does.
As it stands, I don't know what type of MMO player you want to appeal to. I don't see it dragging players away from any established game because it doesn't do any one thing better than anything else. It's not PvE or PvP focused enough to really hyper focus and capture that demographic. It seems to be trying to be quite good at everything instead of an industry leader at anything. When the game releases, I'll review it again, and I'll give it a score out of 10. But until then, I will be grinding away, enjoying my time, because it's not a terrible game, it's just not there yet. I also need to think of a way to repay the spiffing Brit for getting me the beta key. Hopefully he'll be happy with a box of tea bags and doesn't need me to do something stupid for a video idea. But until we know, cheers for watching. A massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who keep the channel going. You can support from just £1 a month. Check the video description for links.
Maybe I'll give it a try on release.
Twitch, Twitter,
probably
and
not.
Discord. And
but
as always,
if my guild or my friends want to go fuck around, and I guess I'll probably get it.